In this story, you are the main character. 1896. The Klondike wilderness stretches before you. Endless snow, freezing wind, and a promise of untold riches buried deep into the earth. For every man who ventured here, the stakes were simple: fortune or failure. Among the countless dreamers were two men. Each chased the same dream. Both faced the same brutal landscape. But only one would endure. The first prospector wasted no time. He saw the river as his golden ticket. Each scoop of dirt, a chance for riches. But the river was merciless. Pan after pan, the gold eluded him. And still he pushed harder, ignoring the dark cloud gathering overhead. When the cold deepened, the river began to freeze. Snow piled on the tool he left, scattered in frustration, untouched and forgotten, like the plan he never made. Desperation clouded his judgment. Instead of preparing for the storm, he convinced himself luck would save him. Well, it didn't. When the river froze solid, he had no shelter, no fire, and no gold. Forced to retreat, he stumbled back to town, in a dim saloon, surrounded by the laughter of better prepared men. Each drink fueling his anger. Winter buried his tools, and with them, his dreams. The second prospector, meanwhile, snug his axe with steady determination. While others fought the river, he stacked logs. He wasn't chasing gold yet. He was building his wood cabin for the storm he knew would come. When the blizzard arrived, his cabin stood strong against the raging winds. Inside, the fire roared, casting a golden glow on the tool it sharpened, ready for the throw. The storm wasn't an enemy to him. It was a chance to rest, to prepare and grow stronger, while others fell apart. When the snow finally melted, the prospector stepped out of his cabin into the crisp morning air. He was alive, his spirit unbroken, his tools ready to strike gold. In the silence of the soured wilderness, it wasn't the gold that felt like victory. It was knowing he had endured when so many hadn't. Two men, the same dream, the same wilderness. One left broken, his dream abandoned and buried. The other stayed, stronger than the storm, ready for whatever the Klondike threw his way. When the thaw came, the clever prospector returned to the river and struck gold.
Holy mackerel! It's gold, Claire, more gold than I've ever seen in my whole life.
Oh! Oh! Oh, there was... Ah!
But his true success was the excitement, the joy of the chase, and to know he was able to endure when others gave up. So as you guess, I love to make little stories, and I like to see game as gold prospecting. So the gold is like the girl, and the rejection is like the dirt you must go through and the difficulties. Or I even like to see it as woodlog for my cabin. And my cabin is like my foundation. It's the place where I'm gonna be able to wait in the winter, the difficult moment in a relationship or in a day game session. But let's back to day game. For me, when I get a tough session, where I get more rejected than usual, I know the next one, it's gonna be so difficult to destabilize me because I will go ready from the last one. And there is actually a few tips who can help you handle rejection like a pro. So the first one will be change your perspective on it. You can use this story and this woodlog, and every rejection you go through, you think, okay, this makes me stronger. Because there is guys who choose to have different type of perspective, and it dictates how their day game session will go and
when you think rejection is something harmful for you, it becomes true, and with time they become more and more fragile, and you don't want that. So instead, see it as fuel for your session. The next step, learn from it. You want to learn from your mistake, because if you get rejected a lot and all the time, there is also something you must change here. You want to learn. And actually, when I start this wrong, and it's really a common mistake, so you can save a lot of time here. When I came back from a Daygame session, at the beginning I was thinking, oh, my voice was shit, so I need to change this shitty voice. And guess what? Next time my voice was even weaker, because when you focus on your mistake, you make them again. That's basic NLP. So instead, what you want to do is to focus on the small win. Everything you are doing good, you say, oh, that was great, but how can I make this even better the next time? Even better. This way, you focus on your win, and you're gonna have a better learning process. The last advice, okay, I got sometimes guys who tell me when they start daygaming, they start from maybe a harsh relationship or a breakup, a divorce, and they go through their first step and they quickly get discouraged because they get rejected, it's painful, they are almost ready to cry, and they say, oh, okay, I give up, enough for me, I'm done, this daygame stuff is not for me. And that's really a shame. You want to stick to it. For sure you want to stick to it, because it's gonna become easier and easier. And of course, it's like everything else. When you start, it's harsh, especially in game, because when you start game, you want to be loved for who you are, game gonna push on the pain button a lot. But if you stick to it and you go through this, it's gonna become so easy. Because first, if you learn, hopefully, you are not gonna get rejected that much anymore. And then, you are not that sensitive to rejection, because you go through it, and over time you are really desensitized to it. It doesn't feel, it feels like nothing. And for me, I even have a joke when I feel a bit sensitive after a rejection. I think about a Russian dude in my head, a big Yuri guy, who is like, oh, you got rejected. Oh, and what's gonna happen next? Oh, you gonna cry like a little baby. Oh, cry, little baby, cry. And it makes me laugh so much. And it fuels my emotion for the next one. It's another way of reframing stuff. You don't want to be fragile with games. So a little joke can give you a lot of joy for your session and make you so stronger. I would like to finish this video with an embarrassing story, because it can give you inspiration for your daygame journey. And I was thinking about the daygame story, because I got plenty of them, of course, because I do daygame a lot. But I have an even better one from my young age. And in a way, we can say it was my first cold approach pickup, in a way. I was in primary school, in love with a cute little blonde girl. So I take a piece of paper, and with all my childish courage, I write some nice words on it, and I draw a little heart, and I put all my love into this piece of paper. With my courage, I give it to her. She didn't say anything, so I was thinking maybe she was timid. The week passed, and after the weekend, her best friend came back to me with a big smile. So I was thinking, oh, it sounds good, maybe she's gonna say she loves me. And she looked at me and she said, do you wanna know what we've done this weekend with Elodie? We take your little piece of paper and we burn it. And it was so harsh, like it was a harsh rejection. It was one of my first ones. But from now, I see it as maybe my best experience from primary school because it teach me a lesson. Now I think maybe I shouldn't take life or love too seriously because it's just a game. And yeah, so for me it was so valuable. I hope this story was inspiring for you or fun. If you want to share something in the comments, go ahead. My channel is an early channel, so I'm always happy when I can read a comment from you. And see you in the next video. I love you, bro.